Are you spiritual or are you demonic and a demon? To talk about this, because this is an important topic that we really need to get on so we can understand, so we can all get on the same page and understand what we need to be, because there's a lot of information out there, especially with the internet and how things are. A lot of people have information, but they don't have knowledge and wisdom on how to utilize these things. And given our situation, it makes sense. We don't have a culture and we don't have a society design or even a culture within this society that nurtures and grows and supports successful spiritual systems. And by successful, I mean ones that is you see the value within life, within your immediate surroundings, and it stands. The way that you live in life is in coherence with everything that is around you. When we have a culture to help sustain these things, this is when things become common sense. Like if you look at it right now, we have a culture of toxicity and a bunch of bad aspects that is an aspect of our culture that leads to us having certain innate and basic ideas of reality and thoughts. Like, for small example, trauma. People think that you have to go through trauma to become successful. That to become successful, you have to run through the mud and dirt and be grinded to the bone and be subservient and give your all. And only then will you have the success or the ideal that you are looking up through, which is a very distorted and false modem of belief. So this is why we have leaders, presidents, and world leaders who are severely trauma damaged. People like Hillary Clinton, people like Donald Trump. These aren't just evil people or fucked up people. It's based off of trauma, whether it's some secret society cabal that had traumatized them or just their position in life that had traumatized them. You can see the deep effect of trauma, which is what leads people to believe or to adopt certain personality traits and certain perspectives and ways of looking at the world, which could be praised and celebrated by society. So just because somebody is praised and doesn't mean, or just because there's a culture doesn't mean that it's going to breed something positive, or doesn't mean that there's toxic cultures. And when you're looking at the root of the word culture, or how they're using the word culture scientifically, they're talking about a culture of bacteria. And when you're growing bacteria, and you're growing a culture of bacteria, toxicity spreads pretty quick if it's a basis of toxicity. But it could be healthy if it remains non-toxic. Then it will keep on multiplying the non-toxic bacteria, if you get what I mean. So having a culture that's based off of toxicity without an innate detoxing system within that culture or within that society, it's going to become toxic. But that aside, that's just to give you a frame of reference of how these things can go bad, and why we need a better culture, where we need to establish something, not even going back to old cultures, even though there's so much knowledge and wisdom, and we've been there. And it's proven by our physiology that we've obtained those high levels of society where you're able to be in a relaxed state of being. No anxiety, no depression, no addiction, but you're able to manifest the highest possibilities of your body. How do I know this? Because your body has those capacities. It has the potential to rise into higher states of being and levels than what we currently sit at right now, which is evidence and proof that we've been there and fell down. All of the chemicals and stuff that secrete from your body, the spiritual enlightenment that is connected to the fluids that come into your body, the fact that your body even developed those and created those shows that those aspects had existed probably before you even manifested a body. This is how deep these higher energy vibrations go, and why we need to stop looking at like we're so far from these things, or like it's not built into our DNA, or that we have to go and build onto something or do. All you need to do is unlock what is already within you. God is great, and he made you in the most brilliant way possible. He made you in the image of the universe, and this type of understanding prevent you from diving into those demonic energies. So let's get into it. Are you a spirit or are you a demon? Are you spiritual or are you demonic? This is some real shit, Because if we had the culture to be able to discern certain things and to be able to train ourselves to energy and to how harmonious we are being with our environment, this wouldn't even be a question or a doubt. But I'm telling you, I'm seeing it within this spiritual community, within this conscious community, that we don't really understand the full extent of our potential, of what we can be. So much of this spiritual community is demonic and evil and diving into all of the Luciferian energies, which is exactly the same mistakes that we were making in the past, but yet under the pretext, or they're thinking that we're moving into some new age, that this is some new shit that we're talking about. Disconnecting the old wisdom and knowledge that is embedded in our DNA and whatever funked out bum ass idea of reality that you have, that you never really sat down and thought through and allowed yourself to feel and go through those deeper emotions. Most people don't have those deep contemplative aspects when they look at all aspects of their life and see how this new idea that they come with, this new thing, this desire, and how that fits within things and how important that is, which is what leads you, walks you, slow walk into the demon side. But for you to know whether you're a spiritual person or whether you're demonic, let's ask ourselves, what is spirituality? Even just look at the word and let's break down the word. Spirituality. Sounds like a spear ritual reality. And what spear would we be talking about? Spear is definitely symbolic, whether it be tarot or other aspects, to your life force energy, and also to directly meaning your spine, the spear that's within you, Moses' staff, your spinal column, the alignment of your chakras within your body. Spirituality. Now, is there one end, or is it just a short stick? Is it just a short spear that we are dealing with? Or is it one that encapsulates the entire body? It's one that encapsulates the entire body. And when does disease manifest? When does lack of mental coherence, body coherence, life coherence, environment coherence happen? It happens when these energy centers that is along our Moses' staff gets out of balance, or we start to over metabolize energy from our surroundings, or we start to under metabolize the energy from our surroundings. And this is why understanding equilibrium is so important. So what is spirituality? Spirituality is the unity of this spear ritual that you do. We're going up and down this spear that is us, which is all of our psychological functions, all of our physiological functions. And we have to master that spear ritual if we want to join and feel our connection to the Almighty, to the all infinite possibility, to the God consciousness. It's through those aspects, because those aspects are representations of the universe and the creative energy within itself. So the more we understand those aspects and unify them and have them working in coherence, the more it's like an ear pop, like your ears are plugged in, it pops open. Your eyes are plugged, or your sight was plugged in, pops open. And you're able to see reality from a perspective of unity, from a perspective of connectedness. And this is what real spirituality looks like. So when you have energy blocked up in one center, this goes to show that this is not real spirituality. You are not a real enlightened person. All aspects have to be aligned and looked after. But so much people in the spiritual community focus on one, or focus on none, or try to pretend that they have all of these things balanced, but clearly through their thoughts, through their actions, aren't balanced as they need to be. And we need to start acting or knowing and realizing the real weight, the real journey of that, what that really means to master one of yourself. I'm trying to enlighten y'all on how amazing you are, on how godly you are, and the infinite potential that is held within just your physical body, just your body alone. Before you start writing and building and making stuff, how infinite, how godly, how divine you are already. But niggas act like after 6 months, after realizing some shit, that they're enlightened now. And now that they have, or after a year, that, oh, somehow you manage all things that happen to life, and everybody else is like like, Jesus Christ. And then some of y'all may be like, oh, I'm not like that, or I'm not like that, or I'm not assuming that I've mastered everything. But are you still assuming that you are further along the journey than what you really are? Unity cannot happen without pure level honesty. Once this is the world that certain clairvoyancy, or imagine if God were to be perceiving the world, do you think he wouldn't see your feelings and emotions? He would see everything, even an enlightened person, or say someone who's just more observant. Just that alone, before we even get into energy and spirituality and developing those inner psychic abilities, just pure observation. Somebody can tell your energetic state of being just by watching, by body language, by how you act, just by feeling your goddamn vibe. This is high. This is a level of ability that we all have. But when we don't understand what spirituality really is, we start falling for separation, and these energy centers start operating independently and incoherently with everything else. And look at what the energy centers in our life represent physiologically and mentally. You're with your root chakra, you being grounded. This is your physical body. So much people in the spiritual community aren't healthy. And it's so sad because it's an internet trend. It's become trendy to do certain things. And even following certain diets. We're lost into certain mindsets that certain diets are going to help us get to certain things before other things. So you think that you can just eat this and not have to work out, not have to do other things to tend to your body to make it right. That you got lost into some sort of religion, whether it be raw food, whether it be the carnivore diet, whether it be any of that. All of that makes no sense. All of that isn't grounded in the fundamental understanding of how the body works. A lot of them kind of isolate into certain people, like the carnivore diet. That's some white people shit, to be honest with y'all. No offense to white people, but that's the type of environment that y'all may have developed in, where y'all was in some cold motherfucking regions and y'all had to motherfucking eat some shit and sacrifice some shit. Niggas, when there was mangoes and papayas, like come on. And it's noticeable within physiology. So, and same way flipped around, like say if you wanted to be an aggressive, or you wanted to be a fighter, or you wanted to be something, eat the things you eat in a bunch of leaves and stuff like that. Maybe it'll give you endurance. Maybe it'll make you stronger. You'll be able to last longer, but you won't have those animal-like characteristics if that's what you're going through. Those killer instincts, if that's what you're going for. So it's more so energetic, but we don't understand those aspects, nor do we have the right perspective to look at things. Because you might look at your body, oh, I'm building muscle, and you think that you're healthy because you're basing things off of aesthetic. And those types of perspectives, and then you end up, say, especially with the carnivore diet, and you're eating something like meat that has a whole bunch of toxins in it. When you eat something like that with toxins, it's just like when you drink coffee, just like when you drink alcohol. It stretches out your blood vessels to create more blood flow so it can get those toxins out, but it also increases the amounts of nutrients and energy that is flowing throughout the body. So a lot of people will have this effect where they'll eat that type of stuff and they'll feel more powerful, they'll feel more energy. But how long is that going to last? Because the more your veins, the more those vessels get stretched out extensively, more than they would have normally, they lose their elasticity. And without the elasticity creating that resistance force, your flow of blood won't move efficiently. It'll get stuck. And then all of a sudden your health declines. All of a sudden there's heart jumps. And this is why meat is associated, or those heavy macho dudes, all I eat is meat. They'll get heart attacks all the time because of that but beyond that, on an energetic level, it's because they fell for the lie of separation and forgot about unity and how you're supposed to unify all of these aspects together for you to really obtain real health, for you to obtain holism, for you to feel your unity and connection with everybody. And we don't check all of those aspects of our life. This is why I love astrology. I call it separating the rainbow, because most people have all of their energies and stuff mixed and mingled into some dark black mess that you can't really even understand what's making you feel the way that you feel. So in regards to spirituality, people who claim to be spiritual but don't have that aspect of unity in terms of they're unhealthy, have unhealthy relationships. And this is not to say that we can't be good people if we have these things in our life. This is just to say that those are the learning processes that we have to go through. That you have to stop considering yourself an enlightened being and consider yourself higher than others. Let me tell you right now, it doesn't matter how much goddamn times you meditated. It doesn't matter how much asanas or yoga positions that you can hit. It doesn't matter how much time out of the day you can put on that fake smile. None of that matters. You are the same amount of divine as the next person. The same amount of divine. And you have to sit there and ask yourself, if you're so high vibe, why are you in the same situation as these low vibe people? Like, you really have to start understanding these things, because you don't understand what spirituality is. You want a title, you want an identity, you want to be loved and accepted, or you want to see that ideal, and you get lost into the illusions instead of actually trying to manifest it within your life, because it's a big task. And that takes your entire life to reach that high level of unity, to be able to understand. And it takes life hitting you. You know how much people, all of these suburban ass people who haven't went through anything in life, talking about I'm spiritual. You haven't went through anything. How do you even fucking know? If you've never even been thrown with those low vibes. I'm telling you, sometimes that shit is dangerous. I'm so happy that I grew up struggling, grew up with less than. For me to have the type of perspectives that I have, because when I'm looking at other people, when they had those aspects of abundance or certain ideas, it turned toxic to them. They never built up the energy or the need to work to build something, to build something up. And this idea that things are innate, and this is what leads to victimization, where you think you're a victim. If you are a victim in any way, you're black and you're talking about slavery from the perspective of you being a victim. You're allegedly spiritual, but you're complaining about everybody else in the world being low vibe, and you're the victim because they don't understand you or they don't listen to you, and you're feeling isolated, so you're victimized because you feel isolated. This is what's going on in the spiritual community, and this is what we're talking about. And it is so demonic. It is so away from unity. Unity, real spirituality is like Jesus. I don't know. I used to be hating on Jesus or the whole story, but that's because of Christianity and the church, the religion that was surrounding around it, because they butchered up Jesus' message. If you just read the fucking Bible and look at what Jesus said, it has nothing to do with anything that the church stands for, if you get what I mean. And you crack the shit open and you'll see what I mean. He was talking about the real unity, where it wasn't, oh, he's spiritual, but when he's around low vibe people, they gotta go, or they can't handle it around there. He understood that was part of the entire thing, and delve into that energy, try to understand it, gave himself to the energy instead of running away. People are using spirituality to run away, and that is not unity. That is separation. That is demonic. You can't run away from your problems. You can't run away from the evil. Okay? And I understand where that inclination comes from. Because when you really start to develop your intuition, when you really start to develop your sensitivity, you open up to the terrible, dangerous nastiness that is around in the world. You start hearing the little African kids mining in the Congo, mining the cobalt, swinging their babies back on their backs and shit like that, coughing up the dust, the poisons and shit like that. You start seeing fucking little Asian kids in the fucking concentration camps, Apple headquarters, where they're making out of our phones, and the fucking hitting their hands, all the energies, then jumping out the window trying to kill themselves, being caught by a net because the motherfucking company doesn't want to lose their assets, even though they're only paying the niggas $1. You start noticing all of that shit. The world's fucked up, but you have to find a way to integrate that energy. 99% of these spiritual people online aren't trying to integrate that energy. They're trying to run away from it. They're trying to separate and to create their own utopian world without diving into that. You have to dive into that darkness, just like how you have to do that within your own life. Dive into your darkness and truly understand what that was and where did that come from. If you try and run from it, you're only going to become demonic and start doing things that are demonic, representing separation and becoming less sensitive, less intuitive, feeling less connected to everything. And then now you're alone and you're isolated and it's just you. Those are the dualities of the awarenesses of the experience of both spectrums, where you are everybody on one side and you are alone and nobody on your one side. And technically, man, both of them can be beautiful. And I'm not even talking about demonic like it is holistically bad. I think I said in another video how we are already demons by having these physical bodies, by separating ourselves from the individual, to have an individual experience here down on earth. We're already Luciferian. And that's why those are the major religions, why that's a topic that we always talk about. But that is demonic. Separation is demonic. Unity is spirituality. Unity in all aspects, not just with the happy, not just the love and light niggas who run away from the shadow, talk about darkness as if it's bad. You God wolf, like what the hell are you talking about? Anything that you see in this world right now was made by God, made for a purpose, to serve for your enlightenment. So if darkness exists, oh, well, let's run from it. And yeah, let's get a bigger closer to that. This is what I mean about the toxicity in the spiritual community, where they're trying to make things love and positive all the time and to run away from the shadow. And in their aspects, sometimes they don't even look at it like that, but the actions that they're doing and the fruits that come from it may not even look like that as an appearance on the surface. And this way you have to be keen to energy, why it's so important for you to be keen to energy. If the fruits of what is being done leads to separation, it's demonic. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. And don't call yourself spiritual if that's what it's leading to. Greater unity, you bringing in the people that disagree with you. That's what unity, that's what spiritual niggas do. A spiritual nigga's gonna walk into the den of lions. The den of lions. Imagine wearing a Make America Great Again hat during the George Floyd riots. That's spirituality. If you ain't doing that shit, I don't want to hear it. Because that's the highest level of unity. But when you go into the end, you turn them Republican or some shit like that. Or you make them like Trump just a little bit more. And be like, I didn't like these Republicans, but I like you. In the middle of a George Floyd riot. That is the highest level of spirituality. And that is hard to obtain. But that's what makes it worth it. So let's stop. If you ain't doing that shit, stop. You ain't Jesus. You ain't the second coming. You ain't all of this. And that is not to say that you ain't divine. You are already divine. But then what does that say about me? I'm divine too. So I don't know why you're trying to talk about how you're on another level when we're all divine. We're all on the same level. And you really have to start to understand this. Spiritual people think that they are on a higher vibe frequency than other people, when you don't even really understand that realm of reality. To a degree, that's true. And I'll make other videos about this. But having this as the foundation of your knowledge, without understanding what real spirituality is, what real demonic stuff is, to be able to deduce it down on an energetic level, you're gonna get lost into this world. Because the devil wears your dress. The devil, demonic energy will tempt you with honey and all of the sweet shit. Devil in a New Dress, Kanye song. Check it out. But what is demonic energy? We already went into that. It is separation. The whole story of Lucifer is that he was an angel in heaven who wanted to create his own realm of reality. He wanted to create his own heaven. He wanted to create his own realm of reality that was separate from God. So he left and went and did all of that. And that's the basis of the story. The basis of the story is separation. And ever since then, he's been an antithesis to God's unity. Say he was trying to wake someone up to all the holistic view of their life and reality and everything that was happening, the godliness that was within them. The devil will come in and try and separate them, try and compartmentalize these things within their psychology and within their body. That is demonic energy. So all these people telling you to cut off your friends and family instead of trying to truly understand where the discrepancy is and how you manifested that in your life. They're telling you to cut that all off. Forget about it. Move away. These are demons. These are demons. Point blank period. Those are demons. Okay? Why spirituality needs holism? Because you won't be able to get unity without a holistic perspective. This is why we're here on earth, to experience life, to experience all of the different perspectives of life so we can truly understand ourselves. I don't know why people think that they maxed out, like they're in their peak, that they're in their prime. Like you have no idea what you're capable of. Absolutely none. Until you start levitating, nigga, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. There's stories. You can go and say it's fake all you want. With your non-believing ass. You don't motherfucking know. So anything that you say is just what do they call it? Conjecture. Whatever you say is just conjecture. Go out and disprove it like a real scientist instead of piggybacking and saying science disproved it when you never even read anything along those lines. You're just making an assumption. You're just straight demons. I swear to God, just straight demons. But spirituality needs holism. You need to be able to see things from all different perspectives so you can see the real behind the scenes energy. Because everything has a vibe. It's like the Plato and the world of perfect forms. When we're talking about the quantum, when we're talking about alternate dimensions existing where all of the possibilities of things that could happen are happening. And we need to jump into those realms of reality if that's the future that we want to manifest for ourselves. This is true. But you need holism to understand the energy that's encapsulated behind all of them. Because you're going to see yourself riding a motorcycle in that one. And you're like, nigga, I'm going to hop in that one. And then you get into a motorcycle accident. You get into a motorcycle accident. Then you didn't realize the energy was, you're trying to go to places too fast, too soon, and all that, because you don't understand the behind the scenes energy, because you're lost in separation. You're lost in individuality. You're lost in ego. Step aside when you're going through life. Sometimes really step aside into that observer point. Stop being yourself for a moment. Stop being open book. Stop being who you are, your ego, your personality, the id, and step aside as just pure observer and look at your situations. This is how you obtain holism. This is how you obtain unity, because then you can see everything from a multifaceted that is not limited to just your experience. You're within this lifetime. You start accessing all of the memories. It's not even like you have past lives, which that is true, which we'll make more videos. That's another video. But it's more so that you are all the past lives. Who's to say that you can't connect to other people's memories and other people's past lives and experience them yourselves as if it was you? See, you don't even understand that realms of reality because you're so lost in separatism. You're so lost in trying to make love and light all the goddamn time that you don't even understand the esoteric realm and spirituality in your own inner world. The fact that you want to blame other people for the shit that's going on in your life. That's all you. Wrap it up, we'll talk about this projection aspect. And I'm going to make a separate video about that too, since we're talking about this for a while. But projection is what we all have to understand. It really is just you. It really is in a way. But just you is everybody. So there's this duality aspect between unity and singularity, where our job, that's why we have these physical bodies. Our whole purpose is to understand that duality. That's why we manifest into this third dimensional reality. The next manifestation coming off of that duality of singularity and unity and holism. So you're really just perceiving everything is so subjective within your reality. This is what quantum physics is proving. Because just by you observing energy, observing any natural phenomenon, you are changing its state of being from being a potentiality and waveform and energy into a particle, to a solid mass. Just by you looking at it, you're already a wizard magician. That's what I'm trying to show you guys. But through projection, you take your own subconscious mind that throughout that the spirituality and this understanding of unity and holism, and being able to objectively step back and look at your life and all your situation as the observer, as the energetic version of yourself, looking at the potentialities that can exist, and you get lost in the physical realms of reality. You start projecting the imagery and symbolism from your subconscious mind that starts to build up through these experiences, through you thinking the same things over and over again, through you having the same thoughts and same feelings over and over again. You start projecting things into the world. If you have people that debate you all the time and disagree with you all the time, toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships, anything, addiction, bad behavior results, just everything, every negative thing that you can think of that you can have within your life is your subconscious mind projecting that into your outer reality. And all of those things that don't agree with you, that are nasty, all of those toxic stuff, is because of your lack of paying attention to your subconscious mind, which is what's allowing it to project into the future. Now, this is not, or project into your life, how you see the world, because really none of this shit's there, or none of this shit's happening other than your subjective reaction to all of these things. Good and bad doesn't exist. If a person slapped you in the face, they didn't just disrespect you. They didn't do any of that. All of that experience, they didn't even hurt you. All of that experience is within your subjective reality. Because say if I were to get slapped versus somebody else getting slapped, like one of them slap niggas who do that shit for a sport, it hurt me, but it didn't hurt him. That's just a small level. They get so much deeper than that. But we are projecting our internal worlds onto our external worlds. So look at all these spiritual people. We're talking about people that are in their life that, I need to cut these people off, or these people, and all of this demonic shit, which is true in a sense. Like, I don't want y'all to get it twisted. It is true. But that being your starting point of looking at things is throwing you way the fuck off. You are controlling these things. You are projecting that reality. Go deep within yourself and get past the conscious mind and dig deep into your subconscious mind, the thoughts that you aren't aware of. And now you can start, and through knowledge and nurture of this aspect of ourselves, not the day-to-day, oh, I gotta pay these bills, or I'm anxious, I'm alert, so I'm taking coffee, I'm doing all of these things so I can stay in the separated aspect, stay in my ego, stay in my personality, instead of more so losing your sense of self with the imagination. All of a sudden, children have that innately. If the children is not whatever his name is, when Halloween comes, they, not even just Halloween, anytime when they're just playing, they naturally become the Indian chief. They become the football player. They become the ninja, swordsman, samurai. They actually become these things, and they lose that part of themselves, which is what allows them to really, truly explore those realms of reality. And guess what? Yourself is still there to come to after. And I'm going to go deeper and make other videos on projection. But just for this topic, to know whether you're being spiritual or a demon is based off of your projections and what you're seeing in the world. And this is not a negative thing. Stop looking at it as negative. It's God talking to you. It's God talking to you. Reminding you of the divine that is within you, and that you're supposed to go inside to correct these things. And it's showing you, it's putting you in all those negative situations. It's making you broke. It's like, nigga, you focus on money so much, nigga, I'm going to take all of that shit away. I'm going to take all of that shit away. And then now all you do is worry about being broke. God's like, do I have to kill this nigga? Do I have to assassinate this nigga? I'm gonna take his legs. I'm gonna take his legs. I tried to take his bank account. Nigga still didn't go internal. I'm gonna take his legs. I'm gonna take his wife. I'm gonna take his kids. And how much does God need to speak to you through your experiences in your reality to show you about the subconscious mind, the autonomic nervous system that the subconscious mind rules to, or at least corresponds to in a physical aspect, rules like 90% of the functions in your body. Most of the things you do on a day-to-day is automatic, subconsciously programmed. The way that you look at the world is built by Disney. This is what I mean. So this is what leads to the projection. Now you're projecting out belief systems and realities that Disney had designed, because you don't go deep within yourself to notice that's where that influence is coming from. Projection is dangerous. But yeah, this is how you can tell whether you're being spiritual or a demon. I hope this helped y'all.